Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It's 12:15 a.m., quarter past the hour. 66 degrees outside on this beautiful early summer evening. I consider it summer. I guess it's late spring, this late spring evening. And I was laying in bed and my back was just killing me. I did okay when I was like up and down today. Like if I was sitting down, I filmed a couple videos, and then if I was walking around, driving in my car, I was fine. I sat on the porch for a long time tonight and watched Oprah clips on YouTube, and I was fine, and talked on the phone. I called my friend Valerie. But then when I lay down tonight, well, it was later in the evening too. I think that may have had something to do with it. My back just started like hurting really bad. There was actually a period today where I was like, well, maybe I don't need to go to the doctor tomorrow. That I was like, you know, maybe they'll just be fine, but I don't think that's the case. I brought my Diet Coke with me, and like my little koozie that keeps it cold. I also brought a bottle of the last bottle that I had that my neighbors gave us of this iced tea, because I may listen to a little bit of my audiobook afterwards, but I don't think that's the case, and I'm glad that I have an appointment tomorrow. So I can find out what is going on. Alex is like, well, maybe you'll just have to go in once a year and get an injection. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's probably how it's going to work. I have to assume that he's probably going to, you know, say that it's not healing, or that, I don't know. I'm being hopeful about it, and, you know, maybe it's something that's easily solved. I'm trying to be hopeful about it. It really kind of has been a wake-up call, though, today. I've really been thinking a lot about my health. And, I did not stop at Fresh Time on my way home like I said I was going to do. But honestly, I wasn't really hungry. Part of the problem is, part of my unhealthy eating habits is that I really only eat once a day. I mean, if we're on vacation or something, I might get like a brunch or a lunch, you know, like if we go out to brunch, or if we're on the beach or something, getting some food on the beach, and then eat dinner later, or have snacks in the room or something before, you know, we go out to dinner. But I very rarely eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like almost never, which is probably, you know, part of my metabolism is just like completely screwed at this point. But I really just eat at one point of the day, and when I eat quite a bit. Although tonight I didn't eat that much because I wasn't super hungry. But Alex, on his way home, he texted and he was stopping to get Thai food, and he asked me if I wanted anything, so he got me some veggie fried rice and some veggie spring rolls. So I had that, and we watched that Andy Cohen after show. It was the one where he had all the Real Housewives on. The Phaedra was on there, because I'd asked Alex to save that episode because I wanted to watch it. Taylor from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. There's a bunch of people on there. But anyway, that was what I had for dinner tonight. But my plan is, I really want to start eating healthier. My plan is to start it tomorrow and just kind of see how it goes. I'm going to go to Fresh Time and get some stuff, and try to really eat more fruit and plant-based. I've got to get healthy. I've got to get in shape. I want to be able to continue to live a really amazing life, you know, and if my health is shot because I'm more focused on going through fast food, then that's not going to happen. You know, I'm not going to be able to enjoy my life and do the things I want to do. And, so it's time for me to get healthy all around. I was talking to Alex a little bit about it tonight. I mean, he's really supportive, but he's also heard me say it 1,000 times too. So Alex is someone that's very much like, let's see the walk, not the talk, which I am as well. And I kind of almost don't like to say anything about it. I wasn't going to say anything about it on here tonight. I wasn't going to say anything to him because I thought, you know, then tomorrow night, well, I'll be getting Taco Bell, and then it'll be like, oh yeah, here's my healthy living that I started, you know what I mean? But on another level, I think there has to become a point of awareness for me where I'm like, I need to start talking about it and talking about a desire to be healthier and see myself that way and imagine myself that way and do the work to get there. I don't want to talk about it for an hour tonight because I've done that on here before and then nothing comes of it, and it's just, you know. I think it was really in talking about the fact that, I don't know if I was talking about it on here or if I was talking about it with Tanya, my friends, but like, I mean, I'm like 80 or 90 pounds heavier than I was like the summer before I met Alex. And I just think about how good I felt every day, and that's just like so much weight. Just like, I think that's part of it, you know, is when you have like 20 pounds to lose. I can remember back in the day, you know, thinking like, oh my God, I've got to get this 20 pounds off, and being so critical of myself of 20 pounds, which at that time was, you know, I had started at like 160 and I was 180, and I was like, oh, I've got to get this 20 pounds off and get back to 160 again. I mean, I was really thin at some points in my life, but I look at that and I'm just like, what happened? Although the last time that I lost like a major weight, which was the year before I met Alex, I was working out every day. That was when I was like eating really healthy as a vegetarian. And I can remember that my attitude was, because I was probably about, when I started my diet, I was probably about, I wouldn't even call it a diet really. I just was like, I'm going to be healthier, which I think is a better attitude to have. I think diets are short-lived. It's about making lifestyle changes, which is really what I need to do. I need to get rid of the fast food and all of that kind of stuff, you know, the junk food, and really making a conscious effort to put healthy food inside of my body. But at that time, I can remember thinking to myself in 5-pound increments. I didn't think about it as like 80 or 90 pounds. I thought about it as like, well, I've got to get from like, you know, such and such weight to such and such weight. And then I would get there and I'd be like, okay, I'm so proud of myself. I lost 5 pounds. And then let's see if I can do 5 pounds more. And I took it in like small increments. And I also like I so loved working out at that point. Like I was so enjoying just like, especially doing cardio. I've never really loved doing weightlifting. It's not, I mean, I've done it a lot in my life, but I've really never enjoyed it when I did it. But there were periods where I really did love to do cardio. I used to run a lot on treadmills and outside, and I always felt so great. And then I would do like the Stairmaster, Stair Stepper. And I want to get back to that. You know what I want to get back to? I have a friend of mine that, so he takes care of his mom, and when COVID started, he, they have a lake house, and they went up there, and he was living with her, and he's been up there with her ever since. And he's quite a bit shorter than I am, but we were probably about the same weight. He's literally lost like 100 pounds. I mean, he doesn't even look like the same person. And I messaged him the other day. I was like, oh my God, well, I think I even said it on here. I may have talked about this at one point. I was like, your story, you're so inspiring. And he was like, I just took it day by day, and I know how to do that. I did that with, getting sober. It's the same story. I think it's hard on the internet because it's like, you want to share that story, with people, what you're going through, right? You want to say, I really need to get healthy and start eating healthier. But then what happens as a result of that, this is, one difficulty, is that, so, you guys are so kind that a lot of you have lost a lot of weight or had weight loss journeys or health journeys. And so you want to share with me what worked for you. But, if you go and you read through the comments, it can become very confusing to somebody on the other end of it, because somebody will say, oh my God, I did keto, you should totally do keto. Or somebody will say, I did intermittent fasting, that would totally work for you, it was the best thing ever. Somebody else says, I did keto and intermittent fasting. Somebody says, I did Weight Watchers. Somebody says, I did Nutrisystem. Somebody says, I just went all plant-based, or I did, I get 20 different responses. So it's hard, and people are sharing out of the kindness of their heart what worked for them. But at the same time, it's kind of confusing because you read it and then it's well, which one would work for me? Which one would be the best for me? Number one. The other thing is that the internet is highly critical of when you say you're going to do something. So if you say, I'm going to lose weight, I wouldn't say the majority of the people that watch my videos, but I think we know there's a few people out there that are not, let's just say, Peter Monn cheerleaders. That's the nice way of saying it. So when you say, well, I'm going to start a weight loss journey, or I'm going to start getting healthier, and you don't, right? And you fall on your feet because it's hard, it's just when people reach out to me and they're getting sober, and let's say if they stay sober for so many days and then they go back out for a day or two and then they come back in and they message me, I'm like, listen, there's no shame in the game, you came back in, and that's what's important, is that, you're here and you have a chance, and, we're not programs of shame or blame. We don't blame it on other people. We don't shame each other for it. You do the best that you can. I have friends of mine that literally have double-digit years of sobriety. They've been sober over 20 years, and they took start-over tokens. Start-over tokens are when, you go back out and you come back in and you get a start-over token. They took start-over tokens for, 10 years. They just couldn't figure it out, And then one day, it just stuck. And now they've been sober for 20 plus years. But I think people are so highly critical that if you say you're going to make a change, they want you to make the change that day 100%. And if you fall short of that at all, they're quick to remind you of what you said. And, that's not helpful to me. It's not helpful to me when people shove in my face, well, you said you were going to do this and you didn't do this, so you're a loser, you know? But at the same time, it's like you want to share what you're going through online with people, you know? You want to say, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm going through, you know? I was watching this interview on Oprah, because I was watching all these Oprah clips tonight, and one of them was with Renee Zellweger, and it was called The Questions She Won't Answer, and it was like a 1:31 clip. You should watch it, it's fantastic. And it's when she did the movie Bridget Jones' Diary, is that what it's called? And she had lost so much weight, like I think that's part of the movie or something, I can't remember. But she had gotten really, really thin, and people were like, the question everybody wanted to know was, how did you lose the weight? Oh my God, you look so great. You lost all this weight. Don't you look fantastic now? And she said she didn't want to answer the question because to answer the question or to ask the question implied that being, like, one was more invaluable than the other. So if you're heavier, it means you're of less value than if you're thinner, is what people are saying. Like, oh my God, you look so great now, right? And I think it's this whole thing that we have about lookism and all that kind of stuff. And you know, for me on the superficial level, when I talk about like clothes and wanting to wear this and wear that, I just don't feel like I look cute. Yes, I could go out and buy the same clothes that I wore when I was, you know, 165 and a 32 waist. I could buy those same clothes in the sizes that I'm at today, but I can tell you when I looked in a mirror, I wouldn't feel good about myself. I wouldn't feel cute. I would be hyper self-conscious, which is why I have to tell you, when I see people that are bigger, like sometimes for me, bigger guys that just kind of carry it off, and I remember this one time we were out at this bar called Talbot Street. I was there with a friend, and there was this guy who was heavier, like probably not as big as I am now, but he was heavier. And I can remember he had on like some vintage t-shirt and it was tight, and he just was so cute. He had like real dark hair. I can just see him like dancing out there. And I think the thing that was the most attractive about him was he was so confident, you know? He just was so confident in the body that he had, and you know, and who knows, maybe he had just lost 60 pounds, maybe he was wanting to lose 60 pounds, maybe he wasn't wanting to lose any weight at all. I don't know what it was, but he was having the time of his life, and it was sexy to see, you know, because to see somebody that is that confident and that sure of themselves in their own skin is amazing. I'm not there. I wish I was. The reality is, I have such horrific body dysmorphia that even when I look at pictures now where I'm like, God, you were so thin. You looked so good, you know? But at that moment that I was taking that picture, I can remember being super self-conscious. Like, oh my God, like, I have a stomach, or what, and I didn't either, you know, at the time, or... So, I guess for me, where I'm at now is, and this is going to sound really weird, like, I wouldn't say I'm super confident in the body that I'm at, because I'm not, but I don't, like years ago, my weight would have kept me from going to things. I would have not gone to things because of my weight. I would have been there's no way you're going to get me to go do this or go do that or be out in public or go to a party or whatever, because I'm too embarrassed to see people. I've allowed myself to get too fat. And I'm the heaviest I've ever been in my life right now. I'm absolutely the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And you know what? I wouldn't let that stop me from living my life today. And that's part of the problem, I think, is that I've gotten to a point where I've just kind of accepted my body as it is. And I'm kind of just like, okay, like, if you're going to continue to eat the way that you do, then don't beat yourself up and go and enjoy your life. And I think that's part of the problem, you know, is I think sometimes like body acceptance is a great thing, I think, mentally and emotionally. But I think physically it's maybe not the greatest thing, especially maybe not for me. I can't speak for other people, but for me, you know, and, I don't think I'm any... Like, I thought that was such an interesting comment that Renee Zellweger made, because, you know, just if I lost 80 pounds, it doesn't mean anything more about me. I'm no different, you know what I mean? I'm just the same Peter, but 80 pounds thinner. But I want that. I want to be able to do that, and part of it for me is I want to be able to dance for 3 hours without getting out of breath, you know? God. Or I remember my ex saying to me when we got really heavy together, I went out and I worked out one night, and I came back and I was like, I can't even like go a mile. I was like trying to walk a mile like on the treadmill, and I couldn't even do it. And he said, you forget that it's like carrying a backpack on your back with like 60 pounds in it, that you're not used to it. Like working out with, and I can remember that to this day, that visual of carrying a backpack. You know, if you carried a backpack with like 60 or 80 pounds in it, then you'd be, you know, basically working out with where I'm at today. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of huffing and puffing around and getting tired quickly, and that's not healthy, you know. And it's like, you know, it's also when you get to a point where nobody can tell you anything about yourself that you don't already know, you know? Like, nobody could say anything that you don't already know because you live it every single day. And, I remember, like, God, it was probably like 2 years ago. Somebody took a picture of me in the kitchen, and it was during a vlog, and it was like a sideway picture. I remember I had this orange t-shirt on, I think, and it was like a Gap t-shirt or something, or a Target t-shirt, but it was like a 2XL, and I'm like large in this picture. Like, I'm very, same, you know, similar weight to I am now, but I'm like 20 pounds heavier now. And they took this side picture of me, and they made it their profile picture on Twitter, and they said a couple things so that I would notice it. And I can remember seeing that picture, and I wasn't humiliated. I wasn't upset. You know, I wasn't hurt, because I knew that picture was what I looked like, you know? And I was like, I guess this is who I am, you know? Change it or live with it, but it's yours, you know? I can remember thinking at the time, if I ever lost weight, I was going to use that picture as my before picture. because I would look at it and I would think, God, like, you've really let yourself go, you know? But, like, I knew that that was true. And then I was like, well, I haven't lost the weight, so, you know. Oh, Tanya, she was asking me how my back was. She said, ugh, because I said it's hurting because I'm laying in bed. Look at that house, is so pretty. Look at this, they have the lights out, and I love this neighborhood. This is Zionsville that I'm driving through. There was this, some of you probably know about this, but I haven't talked about it on here. It's funny how stuff, like, at the time when it happens, you know, like, I respond to things today, I don't react to them, but at the time I did. I had some things to say about it because there was one person that was questioning my sobriety as a result of it. And I was like, oh, no. We're going to nip this in the butt real quick, okay? So, when Alex and I were in Miami, not this last time, but the time before, Alex was doing an Instagram story. And, I know my haters are like, I can't believe that he's actually talking about this in a video. They're always trying to catch me and stuff, you know? If anybody really knew how boring my life was... I think they think I have some evil dungeon where I'm down there and I'm like, you know, concocting like plans to end the world and things like that or something. I don't know. It cracks me up. I'm just a normal guy living in Indianapolis with my husband and my 2 dogs. I go to meetings and I'm sober and I'm just trying to get by and I'm just trying to do the best I can like everybody else. It really is not that deep. And I've tried to share my life online and... You know, sometimes people want to take snippets of it and use it against me when they don't know the whole real story. I've kind of decided that I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore. I'm just not. But, so, Alex had taken an Instagram story, and in the background, he was like literally walking to the beach. I'm like in 2 seconds of the Instagram story. And I was in the background in a swimsuit, mind you, okay? And I had a cigarette in my hand because I was smoking a cigarette on the beach. So this turned into this huge thing. There are these accounts on Twitter that hate me so much they have dedicated their entire Twitter accounts to just hating on me and coming for me. I'm I'm sure these are some of the same people that have harassed my family and my friends as well. Which is why people are not in my videos anymore. Unless they choose to be from time to time. I mean, Melissa doesn't care. She's like, I don't care what people have to say, you know, and... Okay, it stopped. But it turned into this huge thing, right? Which is so funny because it turned into this whole thing about me smoking cigarettes. Well, first it was about me smoking cigarettes, all right? So let's just make this clear. I smoke cigarettes, okay? I've smoked for a very long time, off and on, and I'm not proud of it. I started smoking when I was like 15 years old. There have been periods where I haven't smoked at all. There have been, while I've been vlogging, since the inception of the vlog, there's been periods that I have gone where I didn't smoke at all. And there have been periods where I smoked pretty regularly. I would say, and now is one of those periods. And I just kind of go up and down, off and on with the smoking. Because a lot of times people come on here and they'll say, can you share how you've quit smoking? And I'm like, I don't recall saying on here that I quit smoking. But if I say that if I say on here, I never said I quit smoking, somebody will go back and find a 2-second clip where I said I quit smoking. Because I probably at some point in 5 years, in 2 seconds of an hour-long vlog every night said I quit smoking. Because that's how it always works. It's 2 seconds or 20 seconds of a video where I say something and then it's used against me. And people don't really know the accuracy of the story. And sometimes the stories that they choose to use against me are sometimes the most hurtful stories of my life. So, but I'm not pandering to that. So the thing is that this Instagram story was taken, right? Well, my first response to it was, I cannot believe that there is a picture floating around of my, and I'm just going to say it the way that I felt, okay? My fat ass. Full out. You can see it, okay? You can see my man boobs and my gut and everything. And I just was like, okay. And you know what? 5 years ago, I would have been absolutely humiliated and torn apart, okay? And anybody out there that you could have taken the picture and scanned in on my hand holding the cigarette and just shown that part. This person chose, they were wanting to humiliate me, which they turned around and they said, oh no, it was Alex. He knew what he was doing. He had a smirk in his eye and all this. It was just such BS. Alex felt so bad about it. He was like, I am so sorry. And it was a good conversation because I said to him, because he's always very careful about that stuff, you know, of like not showing me with my shirt off or whatever. And I said, you know what? Don't even worry about it anymore. You post what you want to post on your Instagram story. I am not worried about somebody capturing something off of your Instagram, okay? You post what you want. That's your Instagram. It was very freeing and liberating to Alex and I, in all honesty. It was this totally freeing moment of where these people wanted to nail me for something that in my everyday personal life is just not that big of a deal, right? So first it was, they couldn't believe that I was smoking because I had been sober for 26 years and I said that I don't use anything habit forming or blah, 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 whatever, okay? Which, let me clarify that, what I mean by that. I mean any mood altering substance that is deemed a substance by a 12-step program, okay? Drugs and alcohol. I mean, to think that I would love for people that, and I'm not saying that there aren't people in 12-step programs that don't consider caffeine and nicotine a part of that, because I'm sure that there is somebody out there, right? But what do y'all think people do after meetings? They stand around, drink coffee, and smoke cigarettes. What do you think happens after a meeting or before a meeting, you know? So anyway, that kind of cracked me up, but at the same time, I was like, oh, no. We're not going to weaponize my recovery against me. We're not going to do that. I have worked too hard in my life, A, to stay sober, and B, to share my story to help at least one person out there. I'm not going to be ashamed of smoking a cigarette as 48 years old. And I said something like that. It didn't matter what I said. They kept on flipping it, kept on flipping it, kept on flipping it. So then it wasn't about the smoking the cigarette. Then it was about Alex did it intentionally to hurt me, okay, which was BS. Then it was about the fact that I was smoking a cigarette on a public beach in Miami, which was illegal, which is actually infactual. That is not true. I think if the law passes and changes, I looked it up, it will be something like June 21st or July 21st. So that was actually totally not true. And I had even, at both places that we had stayed, I asked the guys that put us in the chair, I said, can we smoke here? And he was like, oh yeah, people smoke pot on the beach. I'm like, no, I'm talking about a cigarette. He was like, oh yeah. He was like, if you clean up for yourself. And I always do. That first Diet Coke can that I have, if I'm smoking at that time, and I usually do when we're on vacation, because I like to have a cigarette when I'm on vacation, that's my ashtray right there that it goes in, and I take care of it. So then it became about that, then it became about this, and then it became about that, and I thought, you know what, like, I am just... So that's part of the health thing. I need to quit the smokes for good, you know, and I'm just being honest about it. I'm just putting it out there. I'm tired of people using stuff against me that they don't even know the reality of, you know? When I told my friends, and I told my friends, I'm like, you know, this happened, they're like, people think, what, I mean, and most of my friends do not smoke. The majority of my friends do not smoke. Melissa and Jay, I said somebody's name. I was talking about friends of mine. Most of my friends don't smoke. You know, Alex doesn't smoke. He did when he was in college and he quit. Melissa and Jason do not smoke. Tanya smokes. I think she's talked about that on here. I mean, that's what we do. Fountain Cokes and solve the world's problems and have a cigarette or two, you know? I literally, at the beginning of all of that, I felt like, what am I? 15 years old again and getting in trouble at school? Hell, we had a smoking lounge at my school. We didn't even get in trouble for it, you know? Mom finds your pack of cigarettes. It's like, what is this? And then somebody saying, oh, this makes me so sad because Peter's talked about his recovery for 26 years and yeah, blow it out your ass. Seriously? Seriously? That's a really sick comment, you know? To say somebody isn't sober because of that and then be like, oh, that makes me so sad. And then hide behind the guise of the fact that you know, and then I cleared it up on Twitter. People were like, if he just took accountability for this. He asks everybody to take accountability for something and he won't take accountability for anything. So I took accountability for it. I tweeted out, I'm being accountable for this. Since this is what I ask of other people, I'm being accountable for this. Yes, I smoke. I may smoke cigarettes in the future. I may have a pack in my car right now. You know, it's like, I'm like, but if this is what people expect, hey, I agree. You know, if I'm going to expect other people to be accountable, I'll be accountable as well. How many messages of apologies do you think that I received from those people that were like, I'm really sorry that I, you know, raked you over the coals and said such horrible things about you? I have been wrong before in videos that I have made, and I have gone to those people directly and said, I'm really sorry that I got it wrong. And I have also corrected myself in videos when I have gotten something wrong. So, but you know, the reason I started telling that whole story was for the people out there that ask me, because I'll say, you know, like, oh, my friends and I, we were smoking clove cigarettes or whatever, but I just don't want to put out misinformation, and I don't want people to think, you know, that like I'm saying one thing and I'm doing something else. I'm not going to have that. I'm just not. And I'm going to live my truth, especially on this video, on this channel. And, you know, and a lot of people ask, how did you quit smoking? And so I want people to know I haven't. I wish I had, you know. I say to people all the time, who was I just talking to the other day? Oh, when I was over at my friend's house on Monday night, her son is 11, and I said something about, I said, don't ever pick up smoking. It's the worst thing in the entire world. And honest to God it's the worst habit, what's the worst addiction, I think, ever. I think nicotine is harder than any other addiction I've ever had. Honest to God, most expensive addiction I've ever had. I have tried to quit so many times. I've gone long periods of time without smoking. It's taken a health toll on me, and it's not healthy. And I do not have a good family history when it comes to smoking. You know, my grandma that was in prison, she had emphysema. She died at 64, but she died from something else, but I'm sure that complicated it. Or she died at 67. My mom died at 64. My mom smoked. That didn't contribute to her dying, though. And by the time that my mom was done, like towards the end of her life, she was down to smoking 1 cigarette a night. She would save like 1 cigarette for the end of the night. I'm absolutely 100% not proud of it. I also am very, very considerate of people. I always ask people that I'm around if they have an issue. I walk away from people. Like where we were, you know, on the beach, we weren't around other people. There was one person one day that was by us, and I asked them, I said, do you mind? And she said, can I have a cigarette? I said, no, sure. You know, and I have to say, the majority of the people in Miami that were around us were smoking cigarettes or other things. So, you know, I'm not proud of it, but I also, it's part of who I am, and I'm not going to hide from it. But the reason I was telling the story was because, you know, and if people feel let down by that, I'm sorry if you feel like I've let you down. I would rather tell the story and one day hopefully be able to share with you how I did quit smoking and talk about it on here than just not ever address it, you know? I think there's more power in that. The reason why I wanted to tell the story was because 5 years ago, or even probably 2 years ago, if I had seen that picture online, I would have been humiliated beyond belief. And I'm not saying that it was my proudest moment, okay? But I really didn't care. I really was like, hey, take all of me. Now you see me, okay? You see the arms shaking, you see all of it, okay? And hey, I hope you love me for it. I hope you do. I hope you love every inch of my huge body, because I'm trying to, you know? And I really wasn't like that embarrassed by it. I couldn't believe it. I was really just kind of like, you know, whatever. I don't even let like Alex take pictures of like me in a swimsuit, like coming out of the water just for us. Like I don't like even want to see those pictures. So the fact that it was like floating around on the internet, I'm sure it's out there somewhere. You can go see it if you want to go see it so badly. But I did take, like 6 months ago, you can see how well this worked. I took a before picture of me in some boxer shorts in the bathroom just in case I wanted to do this weight loss journey. I wanted to have a before picture. So it's not like I'm humiliated to show that, you know? Hey, it's who I am. You know, the older you get, it's just like, it kind of is like, it is what it is, you know? It's like, here's the story, morning glory, you know? Take it as it is. But yeah, that whole experience was like super, super liberating for me and freeing. And I think that's where, like, in moments like that, it's like, what are you gonna do with the situation, you know? And like, how are you gonna respond to it? And even though I knew the intention of whoever chose to put it out there, because, you know, they hide behind some fake troll account on Twitter. At the same time, it's like, it really wasn't about them. It was like, I was smoking a cigarette on the beach. My husband did catch it, you know. It's really not on them. I mean, they're just putting it out there in the world, you know. I probably would do the same thing in a drama video. And I'm just being fair about the whole situation, you know. I honestly do not know, though. I will say this, that if it was like Jaclyn Hill or somebody like that, and the story was about, like, let's say, like, you know, a wedding ring or something, and let's just say you knew that they were somebody that was hyper conscious of their weight, I don't know that I would take a picture of them in a bikini and throw it up there online. I think I would just focus on the picture of the ring. But whatever, you know, it is what it is. And then at that moment, I was just kind of like, okay. And what was funny about it was when it all went down, I think we were getting ready to fly back to Indianapolis. And I was sitting out in front of the hotel smoking a cigarette when I saw this go down. No. I think I saw it the night before. Well, I had seen Alex's Instagram story, and I knew, I was like, okay, somebody's gonna catch this, and it's gonna be this big deal, and I just was like, whatever, it is whatever, you know. And it's so stupid, isn't it? So anyway, but anyway, I just was like, okay, so here's what you were handed today. How are you going to respond to this? And I really, to be honest with you, I wasn't mad about anything of it. I kind of laughed. I was like, well, they got in, didn't they? You know, like, okay. But it was like this. If it's going to be about one thing, if it's going to be about the fact that, you know, you've let people think that you don't smoke and you smoke, which I don't feel like I have ever done that. I, in fact, feel like on my vlog, I have said I smoke from time to time, or I smoke, you know? But if it's about that, then don't twist it once you've got your answer and then make it about this and then make it about that. And then you keep on, because you're not getting the response that you want, just make it about whatever you want to make it and then just put it out there, right? But when somebody made it about my sobriety, then I was like, oh no, this isn't cute. You know, this isn't cute. I don't like this. You know, it was interesting because I just put up this, I just put this thing up on Instagram about questions and opinions, whatever. And one of the questions that I got is, what do you think about cigarettes in recovery? And I was like, okay, this is an interesting question on the heels of all of this. I think cigarettes in recovery are, well, I'll tell you, it's interesting because, so when I got sober, everybody smoked. Like, literally everybody. There are smoking meetings. Most meetings were smoking meetings. Everybody that I knew smoked and drank coffee. Then I would say about 10 years ago, when the age started changing and a lot of young people got sober, it changed. And it became that everybody that got sober that was younger, because there's a huge group of people that are, let's say, 17 to 25 that are getting sober, and they all hang out together, and it's great. They all have each other, right? But what happened was they started, you know, smoking cigarettes and drinking energy drinks. They all drank the energy drinks, the big ones, you know? Then that changed to them drinking energy drinks and vaping. Like, vaping became huge. Now what's happening is a lot of the young people that are getting sober, and as soon as they get sober, they're starting to eat healthy, quit smoking, and start working out, like all of it right away. So what do I think about cigarettes in recovery? I think it's a lot to ask an addict or an alcoholic to quit everything at once, but of course that's probably something that's, you know, an excuse to hide behind. I wish I had quit years ago. The amount of money and the health risk that I have had as a result of it is horrific. You know? So, that's what I think about it. But I think if you ask anybody that's in a 12-step program, like, do people smoke cigarettes in a 12-step program? They'd be like, is that even like a real question? Like, what? And I think if you went to somebody that had like 50 years of, I mean, I know a lot of men that have like 40 and 50 years of sobriety. I know quite a few, and they smoke a lot. And I think if you said to them, you're not sober because you smoke cigarettes, they'd say, okay, that's what you think. Okay, but that's not how I live my life, you know. But yeah, that whole situation was very liberating for Alex and I, because, you know, I just said to Alex, you know, like, don't worry about it, you know? If you're taking video of our room and there happens to be a pack of cigarettes out there, oh well, who cares anymore? You know, it's like, whatever. I don't want you to have to worry about that. I want you to live your life and enjoy your life, and I don't want you to have to worry about all of that. And, you know, there's been a lot of liberating moments like that. You know, like when PP passed away, and right before then, I kind of said I wasn't going to share personal stories anymore because people were really harassing us and my family. I mean, I don't think people really have any idea how bad the harassment was. It was bad. It was like really, really bad. And I mean, I remember telling Alex, and I said it on here. I said, I'm not telling any stories anymore, you know? And so that was kind of the decision that I had made. And then when it, like, PP passed away, and like right even before that, it still continued. Alex goes, say what you want to say. It doesn't matter anyway, because those people that don't like you aren't going to change. And they're sad, miserable people that hide behind this guise and this idea of, we just want Peter to be honest and blah, blah, blah. He goes, it's a crock of shit, and you know it, and I know it too. And he said, they're just miserable, hateful people that hide behind their keyboard. And he said, share what you want to share, you know? So that was liberating as well. I think at the end of the day, two things. Number one, nobody knows my life like I've lived my life. I've lived my life, so I know the truth. I know, you know, what my life looks like and how I've lived my life. The second thing is, and this is the most important thing, I wouldn't trade any of it for how many people have shared with me that my stories have helped them and that they've related to, or it's kept them, you know, busy while they're going through stuff. And on and on and on, you know. I mean, the amount of comments and messages I get from people that say, I love your vlog, it's so helpful to me while I'm going through this or I'm going through that. It's just so incredible to me. It's so powerful and inspiring, and it means a lot to me. I don't think people will really ever know how much it means to me. And so I focus on that today. But as far as me, like, sharing personal points of my life, whenever something like the cigarette situation comes up, right? What it makes me want to do is pull in. Oh, the camera, the battery, or the focus is out. Come on. There we go. Whenever something happens like the cigarette situation happened, right? It always makes me want to, like, pull in and not share as much, which I'm sure you guys understand, right? It's like, God, seriously? You know? But it's the messages that you guys send me or the comments that I receive that make me think, no, Peter, you got to keep sharing those personal stories. You got to keep sharing the things that you've gone through in your life, you know? Even if people have heard them 1,000 times, or they're bored of them, or they think you didn't tell the story exactly the same way that you told it the time before, or whatever, you know? It's like, you got to share those stories because people are hearing them. And maybe it's just not doing anything more than somebody can't sleep one night, and so they put on your vlog and they hear it in the background and it helps them fall asleep because it's so damn boring, you know? But maybe it's helping them on that level. And I think that way, and I think, okay, keep sharing the stories, you know? So I will keep sharing the stories. And I love to share the stories. I was going to share a story, now I can't think of one. I was going to share a story with you guys, but you know. There was this, I just looked over there and I saw this sign and it said prom. This is a sad story. I don't know why I'm sharing it, but there was this couple that were going to prom. I think the boy went to this private school here and this girl went to this other school. And this was probably 3 weeks ago. And I think they were like hit head on in a car accident. The prom was canceled and everything. Like it happened right before prom that night. And they had just taken pictures at her mom's house. It was all over the news. It was so sad, you know? And I was watching the news footage of the mom. I felt, and the sister too was there. I just felt so bad. I was like, God, can you even imagine? You know, we think when we're going through stuff that, oh, life is, you know, bad. And then you hear about a story like that of somebody going through something and it's like, man, that's not even gratitude, you know? That's like, but for the grace of God. I mean, and I think those are moments where you really have to say, shut your mouth and stop complaining. Life is pretty good. You know, your life could be a lot worse. And it really puts it in perspective. I don't know why I'm keeping my turn signal on while I'm changing lanes. Cirillas, discover something new and sexy. Doubtful. Doubtful. Look at this gas station, is packed. Oh my gosh. But like the inside, like everybody's going inside to buy stuff. It's not like I'm getting gas, but which I need to do actually. Isn't that sad? I remember right after we graduated, it was like the day after, there were these two girls that were in a car accident. It was like this horrific car accident, and one of them died. And maybe it was right before we graduated. It was like the week before, the week after, I can't remember. It was this horribly sad thing. I just like, I mean, obviously people dying in car accidents is really sad, but don't you think it's so much sadder when it's like somebody that's just getting ready to start the rest of their life, you know? That's one thing I wish. I wish at 18, 19, 20, instead of drinking and drugging my life away, I wish I had known the possibilities of what the world held for me out there. And I wish I hadn't been so damn scared, you know? I wish I hadn't been so damn scared of my own shadow, because I was. And the drinking and drugging helped me get over that. But really, it helped me get over that, and it helped me to sit in a bar, you know, 6 nights a week and drink and party with my friends. I could have gone to art school or fashion school. You know, I could have traveled through Europe. My friend and her sister went, and my friend, when she got back, we were going to do it the following summer. There were so many things I could have done. I wish I hadn't been so scared. You know, I wish I had realized all of the possibilities out there. You don't get it, you know, until you're older, and then you look back. I look back on some of like this is gonna sound really silly probably to a lot of people out there. Oh my God, the battery's about to die. I'll change it up here in a second. But I look back on like when I was younger, especially just like in the last 12 years, some of the like when I was thinner, some of the like the New Year's things that we went to, that Alex and I went to, man, in retrospect, I would have spent the money and got a fine suit. Like a navy blue suit with like a dark navy blue tie. Would have had my hair swooped over, you know. I always was just getting something that was comfortable on. We would go to this party on New Year's Eve, you know. I look back at that and I think, God, when I had the body, the clothes I could have worn, you know. I mean, I could still get a suit to wear today, but it just wouldn't feel the same or look the same. My hair doesn't even look the same on my head as it does when I'm thin. Hats don't fit the same. Hell, most of my hats don't even fit my fat head right now, you know? These are the things I'm talking about, see? That I want to change, that I want to get healthy, so that I too look cute in a trucker hat again. Is it too much to ask, Peter? Pull it together. Pull it together. Well, when I do pull it together, at least I have all of the before pictures that I'll ever need. We can use that one picture of me in the orange t-shirt, and then we can use the picture of me on the beach, and then we can take the picture that I took in the bathroom standing there in Birkenstocks, standing there in boxer shorts that hardly fit me because I was gonna, like, you know, lose weight into them, if that makes sense. And those will be my, what do you call it? Those will be my before pictures. Is this gas station not open 24 hours anymore? My God, everything is closing down. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, it's back. Okay, it's back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, this gas station used to be open 24 hours and it's not anymore. I don't know why. But I do want to just say this to clarify everything. Before anything, people get upset. Okay, I'm going to clarify this. I do want to say this really quick. Yes, I have smoked cigarettes. Yes, I do smoke cigarettes. I'm not proud of it. I don't want anybody to start or continue. I think it's horrible. I hope someday I can be a good example by explaining to you how I quit. It's a horrible, horrible addiction. My husband took the picture. He takes full, or the Instagram story, he takes full responsibility. He doesn't put that on anybody. Neither do I. Okay? I was a little hurt when the picture came out, but then I got over it real quick and laughed at it. I don't blame the person that put it out. I take full responsibility for the picture and all of that. So, just want to clear that up, so when people come back and say, oh, you said this, no. I take full responsibility for all of it. And you know what? And I think in life, things happen the way that they're supposed to happen, and I think it was supposed to happen, you know, maybe, I don't know. Well, I don't know that I necessarily think things happen the way that they're supposed to happen always. I think sometimes, I was just saying this to somebody earlier, things happen to us. This is a Melody Beatty quote. Not everything that happens to us in life is to teach us a lesson. Sometimes things happen in life to teach us that we're stronger than we thought we were. But that's not really an incident like that, because that wasn't really that big of a deal. It was just some picture that was posted, you know? So it's like, who cares, right? But, yeah, I think it was like, whatever. I will tell you though, just so people really understand, and I have the DM saved, just in case anybody doesn't want to believe me on this. I literally was getting threatened messages before that from people saying, if you don't share, or I have the DMs to prove, or I have the picture to prove it, that you smoke cigarettes, I have the receipts, if you don't come out and talk about it. Like, seriously? Like, that's kind of, what? Seriously? I don't think in 5 years, I know for a fact, in 5 years of me doing drama on YouTube, I have never once ever sent a message like that to somebody that said, if you don't talk about somebody, I'm gonna expose it. Like, that is really, seriously? Gotcha. Also tagged other drama channels telling them about this as well. Wanted them to, you know, get in on the big action. Hey, most of them smoke cigarettes, so you're probably not convincing anybody out there. They probably don't care. But anyway, or have at one point or another, or do other things. So anyway, I just want to say that to clear up any misinformation. I take responsibility for everything. For it all. And I most definitely take pictures of my before pictures. What I don't take responsibility for yet, because I haven't gotten there, is my after pictures. Now when I post those, I can't wait. But we'll get there one of these days. You know what I would love? I would love for my channel to turn into this get real healthy, lose weight, work out every day, eat plants and, you know, fruit, vegetables and fruits, and eat healthy, granola and all this kind of stuff. Oh, by the way, I just bought some of those what do they call those ball jar glasses tonight off of Amazon, because everybody makes the yogurt and drinks the coffee in those, so I want some of those too. So I got some of those. Tanya has a bunch of them. She loves them. But anyway, I would love for one of my channels to turn into that, you know, where I got real healthy and, you know, quit smoking and stop drinking caffeine and all that kind of stuff. I would love to do that, you know, and talk about living the best physical, mental, and spiritual life possible. I would love that. I can remember talking to Amber Lynn Reed and Amy Slayton back in the day, and I said to Amber Lynn, I said, you know, if you ever, like, I mean, hell, she was making enough money. The people hate watch the hell out of Amber Lynn. She knows what she's doing, but I don't watch her videos anymore because I just had to stop, because I felt like, well, I won't get into all of that. I just feel like she knows what she's doing in her videos. I said to her, if you got like a dietitian, a nutritionist, and like a therapist to work with you on this journey, of which you could get somebody to donate their services for you because they would get so much exposure by being on your YouTube channel. I said, do you realize that if you turned your channel around and you lost this weight and got healthy, I said, and you like were like this person that was like meal prepping and showing workouts that you were doing, and she loves to do like the Torrid hauls and was doing like Lululemon hauls and workout clothes, and you were talking about like what inspired you to like want to live a healthier life. I said, do you realize how many people out there you could get on board that would be following you, that would be so excited for you, that would be so motivated by your life journey? I said, you'd leave your haters laughing, you know? You'd leave them, or you'd be laughing as your haters are walking out the door, because what are they gonna say, you know? She didn't do it. Amy Slayton, she got on that show and she had that surgery and she's lost a bunch of weight and she's like the thinnest she's been since high school. I'm like so proud of her, and I know people don't like Amy Slayton and whatever, and I haven't watched the whole Slayton Sisters. I started watching season 1 and I haven't finished it. I thought about watching both seasons and then doing a review of it. But like, good for Amy, you know? I would love to do that on my channel. Do you know who stands in the way of me doing that? I do. I'm the one that stands in the way of me having the healthiest life possible. I am fully aware of that. And I think I'm to the point where I say this and I'm like, but I feel like I'm at the point where I'm tired of making excuses. I don't want to do that anymore. You guys would still watch me if I was super healthy and I was talking about body, mind, and spirit, and how I was growing as a person. I don't know that I would necessarily, I think if I was gonna like, let's just say if that happened and I really did get healthy and wanted to like put a lot of that into a channel, I probably would do a lot of that on my Peterisms channel. I would still do the meditations, but I think I would also do like one day of meal planning and one day of this or something, you know? Yeah, Peter, let's put the cart before the horse and plan out the channel before you've even like, you know, that's not a reason to do it. The reason to do it is this, but I would love to share that journey because I think also then it would be a source of accountability, you know, to be online. And but you know, like I forever have watched, oh, who's the guy? I can't remember his name now. He's so nice. I really love him, and he's lost a ton of weight. And then there's Obese to Beast. They get such critical comments from people. Like they put on like 5 pounds and people are so hard on them, you know? I'm just inspired by their life and their sharing of their life. I love it. You know, I think it's cool. I can't remember who that other guy is now though. I used to watch his videos all the time. He lost like 200 pounds in like a year or something. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? I reached out to him. We talked and stuff because he offered to be my like online personal trainer. He's a really nice guy. And then he and his girlfriend got engaged, and I think that she was having a baby or something. Do you guys remember this? What is his name? I feel like it's Simply something, but I don't think that's right. Because you know what I'm thinking of? Oh my God, okay. So Melissa and I are obsessed. If I say this and anybody knows who it is, I'm gonna die. Okay, I started talking about somebody, and then I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about them. And then I was like, why shouldn't I talk about them? Because they've got probably, I don't know, they've got a huge following. So the person I was going to talk, that Melissa and I are obsessed with is this gal on the Facebook. I actually haven't watched her in months. It's been months, but she sells this stuff, and her name is Simply Obsessed with Sarah Gibbons. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Oh my God. Melissa got me hooked on her like a year ago, and maybe longer than that. Yeah, it's been forever since, I don't know what's going on with her. I haven't looked at her in a long time. There's several of them that do this, but they sell this stuff on these, it's kind of like a local access, what do you call it? QVC. And so they'll have like a shirt on and they'll say, this is my new favorite blue shirt. Now it also comes in black, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Did I say blue? Aquamarine, moss, light green, dark green, and they'll sell it in 15 colors. Melissa and I just sit there and we watch it and we howl because she just like takes herself so seriously. And she has these nails that are out there, and I absolutely love these nails, and she clips them together and stuff. Oh my God, I love watching her. She's pure entertainment. And so anyway, she'll say, okay, I have this dress, and this dress is going, but I have it in a size 20, 18, 16, 14, no 12s are out, no 10s are out. Mom, do we still have any 8s left? We got 2 8s left, 2 6s, 1 4, no 2s and no 0s, go. And so then she'll say, okay, we sold number 149, 142, 143. Melissa actually ordered something from her like a year ago, and she said it came really, really quick. But she sells all this stuff, and then she shows it on there. It's like, these are my favorite things, and she sells it, you know? But anyway, Melissa and I would sit there and we would watch her like when we went out to dinner, and we got laughing so hard because she always has like jewels and stuff on her nails. Like her nails are like that, you know what I mean? They have the jewels and all that kind of stuff, which I just think is like, I love all that. I don't know why, it just like cracks me up so much. Whenever I see somebody that really has like exquisite nails, I'm always like I would never, like, if that's just not my style. If I was a woman, I wouldn't have nails like that, or a man, I guess. But when somebody has all that, I love it. I'm just like, I'm so fascinated by it. And I'm always like, oh my God, I love your nails so much. They're so fantastic, because I just love to see it. So anyway, I have to say probably that's one of the first things I ever notice on like women that have their nails done. I always notice it like right away. My friends are always like, how do you notice women's nails? I'm like, I I think it's because I grew up with, like, my mom took very good care of her nails, and my grandma went and got a roller set and got her nails done every Monday. Well, not Monday, Tuesdays, I guess. But once a week, she got it done every week, like clockwork. And my grandma always had perfect nails. So she wore, like, that blood red nail polish. But anyway, so Melissa and we would watch her, but I haven't, God, it's been forever since I've watched her. I don't know the last time I watched her. Christmas time, maybe? But because I can remember watching, like, a Christmas one. But we would, like, type in. We'd be like, Sarah, we love your fingernails, or we love your nails. Say hi to Melissa and Peter. She would ignore us, like, constantly. She would say hi to everybody else in the chat. But each time Melissa and I would say, we love you so much, we're your #1 fans, she would totally ignore us. She would never say hi to us or anything. We were just so bitter about it. We were like, this is so rude. Don't you think that's so rude? I think that's so rude. Anyway, she'll learn. I just wanted her to say hi, Peter and Melissa. That's all we wanted so bad. Oh, my back is killing me now. This has been really good, though, this vlogging tonight, because it's taken my mind off of my back. This has been fun vlogging tonight. Sometimes I feel like I'm driving around, like, telling a story. Like, sometimes I really do feel like I'm recording a podcast, and other times I feel like I'm just directly talking to, like, you, like, one person. And tonight, I have to say, I really feel like I'm just, like, talking to one person. Like, we're just sitting here, like, driving around, and you're in the car with me. It kind of feels like that tonight. I don't know. I can't explain the difference of why it feels one way or the other on certain nights, but I already have my alarm set for 9:15, and 9:30 because Alex is leaving at 9:45, so he said he would get me up if I wasn't up by then. But I have to get up and take a shower and get ready to go to the doctor's office, and I have to be there at 10:45, but I'm gonna get there at 10:30 because I try to show up to doctor's appointments 15 minutes early. In case there's any paperwork or anything that I need to sign or fill out or anything like that. And then we'll see what happens. I may be getting this injection tomorrow. I'm really worried that he's going to say we need to take a look at surgery, but I'm not borrowing trouble about that yet. And we'll just see what happens. Last time when I asked about, because so many people were saying stuff about physical therapy, he said, with what you have, and I was talking to my friend Valerie today, and I couldn't even, for the life of me, I don't remember what's wrong. It's something between, somebody from last year probably remembers, it's something between like 4 and 5 or 7 and 8 or whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. But it has something to do with that, and I think it's, I don't remember if it's why I sit the way I do or whatever, but I do remember that he said to me last year, like I said something about my weight, and you know, this is like a family friend, like we're friends with his whole entire family, and this is somebody that I know on a personal level, and he's fantastic. And he said, he goes, I'm not going to tell you that you need to lose weight, but he said, I would highly recommend that you start really looking at your health, because your weight is going to affect your body over time if you are heavier, the older that you get. And he goes, and you're quite a bit heavy, you know? He goes, you really need to take a look at that. So he was pretty honest with me about it, and of course I did nothing with it in the last year, so. Maybe this is what I needed to get, inspired and motivated, who knows? I hope so. So that's tomorrow. We'll see what happens with that. I'm very hopeful, praying on it. Got my alarm set. And then I'm going to, when I get done vlogging here, I'm going to listen to a little bit more of Misfortune. I have like 2 hours left, 2.5 hours. I'm not going to finish it tonight, but I should finish it maybe tomorrow. Is tomorrow Thursday? Yeah. And then I'll be done early, so my plan is, well, it's going to depend on how I feel, too. Like, if my back is really hurting tomorrow, or depending on what procedure I have or whatever happens, my plan right now is if I leave there feeling pretty good, then I'm going to make some videos. My friend sent me a Starbucks drink tonight called the Sunset Lemonade, so I may try that tomorrow. And yeah. So anyway, so how are you doing tonight? You okay? If you're going through something right now and life's tough, just remember, the sun is going to rise tomorrow. Life is going to go on, and so are you. And you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. We all go through stuff, you know. And what you're going through right now is building you into the person that you're going to be for tomorrow. That is going to be the strong, empowered person that you are, you know. That you can be there for somebody else down the road when they're having a tough time as well. But I know times are tough and things are going to get better. For those of you out there that need to hear that. For those of you out there that are having the most amazing day today, celebrate that. It's important for us to celebrate the really good days, you know? And for those of you that just had a okay day and you were content, celebrate that too. Like I say, we don't celebrate those enough as we should, you know? And I think that's it. So I'm going to get off here now. And yeah, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Like it says in the 4 agreements, always lead with love. Spread kindness, compassion, love, understanding, tolerance, hope, faith, and courage out there in the world. Wonderment and awe. Most importantly, love. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! And for anybody that needs to hear it tonight, one more I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!